This is CIS 130 Basic Programming, and we are studying file input, file output today, and it will take the exercises related to file input and output are actually 5 of them total. And so you have script 22, which is opening and writing to a file. You have script 23, which is open reading from a file. You have script 24, which is appending or adding information to a file that already has information in it. And then script 25, you are taking all of the content of one file and creating a new file with that information in it. Those are 4 individual script assignments, and I'll show you that we have a resource for you right here. This is a code starter, and we give you the syntax related to what you need to use to open a file, and we give you the syntax for what you need for putting or reading information from a file, or writing information to a file, or using a loop to loop through a file until you have reached the end of that file. So this code starter text file is available for you. This is our home page here. If you scroll down, you'll find it in the lecture section, which is this section right here, and it's called Code Starter. File I/O for scripts 22, 23, 24, 25. And keep in mind that is this right here, and this is code. This is basic code, so you'll be able to use it to support your work doing the projects. These are 4 scripting assignments, and the 5th one is this project right here. And this project is the program file, program 8 file read and write. And so we do have program 8 in here as well, and it will be a fully formed program which you will write pseudocode for and also provide the executable code. Regardless of which one of those 4 scripts or the program you're working on, you will need to understand the nature of how we open a file and how we manipulate it and then how we close it. And so that file that you have seen now, this is that file, and I'll make it bigger so you can see it here. I'm going to grab pieces of this and I'm going to do the individual script videos on each one. So, for example, when you get to the next one, I'll start from this file and then go. So I'll only provide this introduction to this once, but this is the code that we're going to use to build these files. So in this case, let's go ahead. We'll run a file here. Script 22. This is what we're going to create for this one. Open, write, and close. And so let's go ahead and we will grab a new editor here. Like every other file, we want your name, we want to know what class you're in, and we want to know what script you're writing. In this case is script 22. Okay. And so let's find out what's wanted from us in this script. Create and call 3 subroutines in an order named file open, write data, and close file. Okay, so your specification here, like this is pseudocode, it's given to us over here, and we need 3 of these files we need 3 functions for these. Okay, so we'll do go sub, open file, we'll do go sub, write data, and we'll do go sub, close file. There's no reason not to call these if we're going to be writing them, so we're expecting that if we're given a specification that has these that included in the very beginning, that we will need to both use them and have them available. In this case, we will convert the file name here into a stub, and you've done this again and again in your coding this semester. Okay, if we run this, we get the black screen. There's nothing on here, there's nothing even that we've printed, but If you didn't know you had a syntax error, it's a good time to find it right then. That way we can handle that and not have to worry about that when we're handling the addition of our logic to the program. Script 22, so those are three. Create and call three subroutines in order. Got it. Inside the subroutine open file, create a string file handle to a text file named script22.txt. Okay, so we'll take this instruction into our code, and this says in the inside of the open file. So here we are in open file, and what we have is that we are going to we'll just go ahead and create this as a comment in here, so we can see what we're doing as we write this. Okay. And so at this point, I'll direct you back over here to to what is our code file. Okay. When we say create a string handler, all we're saying is this, and you've done this before. Remember, my name equals Clinton. Remember that? This is all it is a string, right? When we say a string handler here, what we're saying is that the handler is something that's very directed. We're going to use that handler, and that handler is a file. So we say a string or a string file handler is what we're creating. We want to know the name of the file. In this case, mytext.txt is a name of the file, right? Keep in mind that this, if I said script22, is not the same as script22.txt, right? This right here is part of the entire file name. It's not enough to just give the name of the file. You have to give the name of the file plus its extension as a string. And we see this as a string. It's delimited in quotes over here, and up here, look, it's being saved with a $sign saying this is a variable, which is a string, which is the name of my file with its extension. You have to have this declared properly. If this doesn't work, nothing else works. So there are several things within the file opening paradigm that you have to get right, and this is one of them that has to be precise. So as long as you know what it is, it's easy enough then to be able to create, and you can create as many of them as you want, right? If I wanted to create a new document called Clinton, for example, I could just say, so this is a new file, right? So it's whatever I say this variable name is, which has got to be a string because it's just a variable on there. And Clinton is the name of the file. I could call it, for instance, .data, right? Something like that. It doesn't make any difference what it is, but it has to be exact for the name of this. If it were a Word document, you might see docx on there. You might see whatever it is, right? Or CSV is another format, comma separated values. Very much we'll see these type of files. It can be any file that you want it to, any type of name. So you need to get the file name right, and that is this right here. So let's say, for example, over here, this one wants it to be called script22.txt. So we know right now all it is just a variable, right? So if they don't tell us what our variable name has to be, I don't think it does, I could say my file equals, sorry, it's got to be one of these, my file equals script22.txt. Now keep in mind it is a string, so it has to be delimited in the front and the back with string. Inside the subroutine open file, create a string file to a text file handle named script22. So that's it right there. Okay. On the next line, make a call to open the file for output, remembering to number the file's handle. We'll go back over here now. So we talked about file extensions. We talked about having a string handler. Now what we're going to do is we're going to open the file for output. I'm going to take all three of these lines, okay, and I'm going to paste them in here. So script22 is writing data here, but this actually is this is writing data here. Okay, so if I'm writing, and writing for us is output. If I'm reading, it's input. And so you're gonna, it's easy to get these two confused. It's no problem if you do. Make sure you just go back and look up which one's connected with which. But in this case, we have the write data. So that's the name. That's the name of our function, which is going to be down here, write data. And all we need to do in this case is make a call to the open file. So this down here, line 18 and line 19, I'm just going to take these down here. I know I'm going to do my write in here, and I know down here if I go further down, so close that up, I'm going to close my file right there. So look at what's happening here is that I've got in three separate functions the three things that need to happen inside of this is that I have to close my file at the end, I have to do something to the data in the center, which is read or write, and then up here in the top I have to open that file. And so I have three functions that are created: open file, write file, and close file, for example. And within each one of those, each function has a very specific purpose. The open file function, or subroutine for us, is designed to open the file. The write data is designed to write whatever data we have inside of here. And the close is designed to close this. These three things must happen in each time you have a file call. Every file call has to open, manipulate data somehow, and close. Okay, so every file call has to open, manipulate, and close. And we see that paradigm right here. Open, manipulate, and close. In this case, I can run this. I've given this text file a name called script22.txt. I've opened the file. Good deal. So I have an error. And so line 17 and line 21. And let's go ahead and close it and find out what happened. Line 17 right here, a problem. And line 21 right here, same thing goes. They're connected, right? So get file in this case, it's said that it doesn't know get file because I named it as my file instead. Okay? So in this case, if I want to see this instead using my file, which is my name of my script 22.txt, now I should be able to run this and have it produce a black screen for me. It's not going to print anything on the screen. It literally, that's it. That's my only output, is just a black screen. If I wanted to make sure that I were at the end down here, I could actually say something like print and then done, right? I could just make something just to verify for me, the coder, that it did in fact actually get to that close file, function. I see the done on the screen right there. I printed it on there, but we're not reading anything out of this file. We're not asking the file to show us what it has in it. That is the purpose of script 23. And so for now, I'm going to close on this one. This is script 22. I'm not going to provide you this level of abstraction or this level of data. You have the text file to start working with, and I'll pick up this recording at the end of this one and go right into script 23.